Yeah. You wanna name the nobody take.
Quickly, I'm probably
identify perhaps your top 3 or top, I would say maximum 4. Be specific to the channel. So, you know, you can have, let's say, 2 or 3 different niches on Instagram. Instagram's that beautiful, aspirational library of content, but then you can have other niches on your TikTok. What's on the ultra edited type of content, and you can focus on that. And then if you want to have your different reviews and that type of content on YouTube and the multiple facets that you can experiment with YouTube. So I think it depends on the channel segmentation. But if you're going to be posting, your audience is just not going to know. By channel would be the best advice.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
thank you very much. We've got one for Hey Photo as well, and one for Leroy. Okay.
Hi, I have a question for Tammy, I guess.
Tammy.
Tammy.
Wow.
More popular than you, right?
So she mentioned something about the tiers of influencing, that's the nano, micro, and macro.
Okay, sorry.
I'm here.
Oh, there, thank you.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, what do you, as an influencer, how would you advise what determinants are there when it comes to your rates card, or determining how much you should charge the brands? Let's say you transition from a nano-influencer to a micro-influencer within a short period of time.
So it's a very interesting question, that. And that's one of the Style ID Africa was. And we actually, as a business, don't accept credit cards. So we actually set the rates for the brands and the influencers. So if you fall in a particular tier, be it nano, micro, mega, macro, and there's an average set of deliverables, let's say it would be 2 reels or 2 videos and 4 stories, your rate would be X. So to give you an example, my team is dealing with over 200 influencers at any given time, and if we had to go and negotiate rates and accept rate cards, we wouldn't get any work done. So we actually set the rates as a business. So I'm not fully answering your question in terms of how an influencer sets their rates, which Leroy is going to chat about, and will advise you. But it's very subjective to a sense, I think.
Yeah, there's a cheat, right? So I do lots of influencer work, and you need to almost be able to justify your cost. So what I do is I always work out the kind of production costs I'm required to do, and then on top of that I add 25%. So that's just how I work it out. But there's a wonderful platform called Influential, where if you go on there, you're able to benchmark yourself and see what content creators that you're following are charging on a rate basis. So I'll give you a real life example. For me, an Instagram reel costs $520. and it $130 of last week. And that gives me a benchmark of what I need to charge minimum. But then if the company I'm dealing with is a blue chip company, or they want me to do more work, or they want to do more reels, I'm then able to add a fee on top. So you try and find in your community people who are sitting together and doing content of that type and find out how much they do. I also work in the media space, so I have more exposure than most people. So I'm able to get a bit more leeway in how much I charge. So where Starlight Africa is able from a grand scale to standardize it, because you've got so many people who know what makes sense for people doing particular content. If you're going to go and approach a brand and say, this is my rate, you definitely need to justify why your rate is that expensive. If you hire a makeup artist and camera people and that's the kind of content you're creating, great. And if you're using yourself a TikTok, which is usually lower in the rate, because it's just so much easier. And I charge more for reels because reels are usually multiple platforms, multiple locations, multiple outfits, and multiple whatever. Then you pay for that. So it's a very fine balance, and you quite right to worry about that. Because you can sometimes charge yourself out of the competition by charging so much that people just can't work with you. How that answers your question?
Yes, please, thank you. My second question is for Tammy again. You said something about niche. So let's say, for example, if you are into travel content creation, but then you travel, you have budget friendly, you have luxury, and you have road trips and all of that. Would you say the person should focus on one aspect of travel, or the person can mix and match all of that?
I definitely think mix and match. I think, you're sticking to a particular niche, which is amazing, but you don't have to box yourself even tighter, and limit yourself even more. I think there needs to be a sense of freedom and diversity and creativity and things like that, and especially with that particular example, I don't think you just have to stick to budget or just luxury. We have a hotel group, for instance, as a client, and offerings and different accommodation rates and different aspects which we would use the same influencer for. It doesn't really matter. And I think have that diversity when it comes to travel content particularly.
Thank you very much. Because of time, we would keep some of the questions for the later part. I beg your pardon. I'm very sorry about that, but we need to skip process right now. Call this one the creator's play. Okay, you see a spin right there. From everything that I took notes, Hayford spoke, Tammy spoke, of course Leroy spoke to as well. So,
just going to ask one question, and who wants to volunteer before you can actually spin? If you get it right, then you can spin and win something. Anyone? So I can just give you the mic. Anyone? Anyone? Okay. Mahalo.
Why? Right now you didn't think so. You didn't carry me, bro. Hey, 360. Right now. You didn't say safe. I will capture you. Make us see. Go clip of YouTube. Make us see what I do.
Yes.
You go.
One for
You didn't like
oh, but every Saturday you get better.
this one today the new. Oh, see there. You say go see. I now. Me too. Yeah. What you want? Yeah. Bro, see, this YouTube live, but you can also turn it on. Hey, it's crazy. Let me walk a check with it's crazy. So you go 70.